25 years. What did we accomplish, really? And I thought about it when you brought up they're still talking about the same topics. So what have we accomplished, I think, is something we might want to think aloud about.
Well, I think, Betsy said, I think we've raised the sensitivity of all these issues before the local communities. And I think that's the greatest. In a coordinated way, we're much more effective than individual ways. There's no question about that. All these 25 or 50 groups that are part of it, they all have their own agendas with their own organizations. But I think collectively, their force and impact is much greater. That's what I look at. And if Central Kentucky Council Peace and Justice did not exist, it would exist. It would be a reason for it to come into fruition now or some other time soon.
Two projects of the council we haven't mentioned yet. One is the newsletter, which started a few years after the council was founded in the mid-1980s, and that comes out once a month. Copies of it right here on the table in front of us, and that publicizes to a large audience. And then as computers came into the fore and the internet, the council now has an email list called Justice List that goes out to large numbers of people. To, I think it's over 1,000.
That's great.
Just about every day I get that.
Oh, yes.
She knows it firsthand.
It's maintained by my husband, so I'm all too close to it, Richard Mitchell.
Great.
But that is a wonderful way to publicize events that are going on. Send people a brief email with a link to a website where they can go and get more information and so on. So
we should acknowledge the contribution of Michael Fogler for being very
Yes.
successful and influential in putting
Yes.
the printed copy of the Peaceways.
Did he start when Peaceway started?
No. I started Peaceways in, I think it was 1986. And in those days, it was done on a mimeograph machine.
Can you believe
I
that?
shudder to remember what used to go into producing that. And then in 1991, I decided to go to graduate school and needed to withdraw from the council. And it was just a wonderful serendipity. Michael came to me. We didn't know each other that well, but he somehow knew what was going on with me and said, "Would you be interested in my taking over?" And I said, "I sure would." And the council was. It wasn't a decision just the two of us to make together. But Michael said, "I don't want to continue doing it on mimeograph." So he instituted the format that we currently see today, where it's printed.
Yeah, I think the general principle of communication is one thing that I hope we have passed on to later generations within the council. Here was a time really before email, before computers had really begun to take off, and the fact that we had an umbrella organization that then had information communicated to a welter of newsletters from diverse groups meant that we were playing this really important role in developing a kind of communications network that helped to break down the stereotypes and the walls that had separated these groups for years past. I'd just like to say one last thing in terms of our legacy, and I tried to capture it in my dedication of this expanded edition of my first book on the missile defense controversy. I think I thought about the Central Kentucky Council in the context of writing up the chapter on Ronald Reagan and the Strategic Defense Initiative. In the preface to the book, I said this. I said, "In dedicating this expanded work to the Central Kentucky Council for Peace and Justice, I wish to express my thanks for their tireless efforts to keep the causes of peace and social justice on the public agenda in hopeful times and in dark ones too. Its generations of members know as well as do I that the work of peacemaking is never finished." And I think Betsy, you had that Peirce a week or so ago,
Right.
which I think nicely congealed what is, I think, the essential message for every generation of peacemakers, and that is that peace is not an end; it's a way of life. It's a means to continue to struggle, to deal with those issues that divide ourselves, divide nations, create all kinds of conflict throughout the world, and it's our job, it's our responsibility as moral beings to try to give good weight to the causes of peace.
Well said.